Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I encourage you to hit that like button, to subscribe for more quality content, and to share with your friends. I also encourage you to check out the playlist tab for more videos and to check out my books on my author page. I will put the link in the description. Now today, I wanted to do a kind of vlog episode of something that I've been thinking about over the past 7 months, as you can imagine, and it is the realization that this has been a hard year. Not just for me, but for the people around me and for society at large and for communities. It's been a very difficult time. One thing that I was going to express is that I have never felt the impact of world events so strongly, and so this includes the many things that I have experienced. So the year started out with a difficult bang whenever we had to go into lockdown for the pandemic and how difficult that was. And that was only the beginning, because then later on in the midst of this in Utah, in Salt Lake City where I live, there was an earthquake. And then, as you know, recently there has also been what could be described as a revolution in terms of civil unrest and everything that's been going on between groups and everything going on with, I would describe, racism and the difficult path that we are facing with being at odds with the government, being at odds with powerful forces such as the police, and not always knowing what to do. I myself have also had a hard year because there's been a lot of change, a lot of upheaval. One thing that I have experienced directly has been my asthma, and that has flared up and I don't know why. And so there have been moments where I've been struggling with that. But here's what I will say. Despite all of these things, despite the difficulties that I have been facing, the things that I've been going through, I am still nonetheless trying to keep a positive attitude and focusing on the good things that I have, focusing more and more on gratitude and less on the things that are out of my control. But it definitely has been a difficult year. And it's hard for me to always know what to do with that. You know, change is not the easiest thing to go through. Change can be very difficult for just navigating. We don't always know how to navigate it. We don't always know what to do with these things that happen to us. But that's why I try to focus on positive elements of my life. I try to focus on what is in my control. But it has been a very difficult year. It is surprising to think about the ways in which I myself have lived somewhat of a comfortable life. There have been a lot of difficulties, such as dealing with my mental health and dealing with everything that entails. So my mood can dip and fluctuate at times, and so life itself may already be stressful. But then toss on top of that fluctuating moods, it can be very difficult. And yet, I would describe my life as being relatively cohesive, relatively stable, but this past year has pushed me out of my comfort zone for sure, in a variety of ways. I've had to wrestle with world events. I've had to wrestle with the changing climate of our world in terms of the social climate and the consequences of all of our collective actions on the world, including something like climate change. And dealing with the effects of that, and that has been difficult. You know, what do we do when we are dealing with such global catastrophes and such social catastrophes? It's very difficult to know what to do sometimes. Now, I will admit that when I'm talking about difficult things, I don't always know how to express it, so that was the hope of making this video, is to teach myself how to continue to express my story and my narrative and the things that are very important to me. And I would like to see justice in the world. I would like to see more compassion and more connection with others. I would like to see a world where we can indeed connect with other people in a variety of ways, and where we don't feel so isolated by technology and by the world seeming to be bigger and bigger by the day. And I want to express these things. Obviously, what do we do? Obviously, we don't always know what we need to do when things are difficult except to persist. And I will admit that part of the reason why this year has been so difficult for me is because of the toll that all of the change has taken on my mental health. You know, over this past year, I have been confronted by things that are out of my control. I've been confronted by things that I don't always know what to do about, by world events, as I've been saying. And so it's very difficult sometimes to always know what to do in these situations, which is why my hope is to be able to confront them more. But I would say that, yeah, it has been very difficult, and it's not always clear what we need to do. And so the best way that I can process it is by acknowledging it, by acknowledging that it exists. And I'm sure that a lot of people in the world, in different communities and in different places in the world, I know that YouTube reaches a far audience, a global audience. So I could be talking with people all the way around the world. And I know that life is very difficult, and it's difficult for you as well. And you're wrestling with some of these things that I am describing. You know, nothing is certain. The world is not guaranteed. Or I should say, anything in the world, anything given to us is not guaranteed in the world. And that can be very difficult to deal with at times. So I am going to continue to persist. I'm going to continue to work hard. I have been very ambitious this year. I funneled a lot of my energy into my art, which includes YouTube videos, guitar, and music, as well as writing poetry, and my novel, The Dark Kid. I very much have enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed being able to engage with my creative endeavors. I've definitely had a lot more time to think about what I am trying to accomplish with my art. And while indeed sometimes it can be ambiguous, we don't always know what our art is going to lead towards, it is still something that I nonetheless seek to utilize as a tool to be able to continue to get through. Yesterday, among other days, was a difficult day, and so I utilized poetry to be able to work through a lot of the things that I was thinking, a lot of the emotions, again, the aspect I've described of my mental health and of my mood fluctuating and not always knowing how to stay thoughtful and grounded. But it is still nonetheless very important to me that I don't cave into extreme emotions. And so poetry has definitely been an outlet for me to convey a variety of things. Also, the thing that inspired me to write, or to do this vlog episode today on the difficulty of this past year, was actually an essay that I wrote. The essay described a lot of what I've been experiencing in life, and just the variety of changes that have happened, and the upheavals in society, and all of the things that I've been trying to do. And so that essay inspired this vlog episode. And that is why I like the creative process. It is indeed a process, so there is never an end game, so to speak. There's never an end result, so to speak, because things are always happening. But the process itself allows me to get through difficult moments. It allows me to think about things in a different way. And I really think that one of the best ways that we can cope with life is by being able to internalize things and to process that internal narrative that we have, to be able to internalize and process our own process, and to be able to think about these things from an introspective way. And so essays, poetry, novels, writing these things has allowed me to be able to do that. Honestly, if I didn't have my ways of coping with the world already in place, such as community, such as art, such as exercise, and the ways in which I go about the world, it would be really difficult to try to convey what it is that I have gone through this year. I mean, it is hard to describe kind of what we go through sometimes. And it's hard when people can't always relate, and they may know that there's things that are going on that are difficult, and they may want to be able to describe it, but they just aren't able to. That is why I definitely think that introspection is a very valuable thing, and I think it allows for us to continue to push through and to continue to make it through. So yeah, I'm Phoenix, and I hope that you found value in this talk, and I'm very glad that I was able to share this discussion today. And yeah, it's been a hard year, but we will get through it. We will be able to push through all of the difficult things that we face, and we will be able to be creative in life and to think in a very open-minded way towards all of the possibilities that are around us. We will be able to stay positive. I truly believe that we're just getting started, that things are just getting going, and that it's going to be a great rest of the year and a great year in general. and I'm very excited for what is going to happen in the future, as well as grateful for the present moment. Thank you for watching. There will be much more content to come, so definitely keep a lookout, and I encourage you to check out my other videos. And yeah, I'm Phoenix, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.